That was after Daddy died.
Yeah. After Daddy.
Well, tell about the circumstances before Daddy died that day,
Oh, yeah.
or the circumstances that led up to it.
Daddy had spent about, well, from October until January trying to get over an ulcer session. He had worried himself sick because he didn't feel good, and of course his brother Edwin dying of cancer. He really worried himself sick, and he wouldn't think of going to the doctor, you know. So one day I said to him, "You are going to the doctor today whether you want to or not, but you'd have to drive anyway." He'd have to drive, I wasn't driving. So we went in, and Dr. Daly found an ulcer, found that he had an ulcer, and he wanted him to go to the hospital. Well, Daddy wouldn't go to the hospital. I could take care of him. Well, ulcer treatment at that time was a little bit every 2 hours or so, night and day, and that's what he did. But he got along fine. But it took a couple of months or better. And on the 7th of January in 1955, he got up in the morning and he said, "I feel pretty good today. I am going out to the barn." Well, I said, "Fine." I said, "Is there anything I can do?" Well, I said, "There's a window light out of the chicken coop window. I have pushed in a bag of straw to keep the cold out for the chickens, and I can do that." I said, "That's fine. I don't have time." And so that's what he did. We went out to the barn. He went out, and then I went out later. And on my way out to the barn, this fellow came into the yard, wanted to know if Mr. Gibbons was at home. And I said, "Yes, he's in the barn." Of course, I should have told him that he wasn't well, but that very likely wouldn't have helped. And he wanted to put Don in the Army. And Daddy said, well, we can't spare him. He is working for a man who allows him to stay home whenever we need him for the extra help. So that was it. And the fellow went on about his business.
But what did he say before, when he saw you out there?
Well, he said, "She looks like she's able to do it." But that little sentence was Daddy's life. Took his life, just like that. He could have shot him right dead in the spot. It would have been the same thing.
Because he got so angry. Rightfully so.
He didn't need that. And then the guy went, and I went on toward the house, about halfway between the house and the barn, and Daddy called me back. And when I got back to him, he said, "I got terrible pain in the back of my head." Just like that, and he put his hand. So I helped him to the house and got him on the couch in the den. And he said, "When Jerry gets home from school, I'm going to have him take me to the doctor."
And that was the last thing he said.
That was the last he said. Yeah, the very last words he said. And then the doctor came, and the priest came, and Riney Kotsian and some friends came up. I had the table in the kitchen full of clean clothes piled up. I can remember that. The house must have looked like nobody ever took care of it. But they were clean clothes. Off the lines in the basement.
Well, you had a few other things to think about.
Yeah, just a few. Suppose they thought, "That slob."
I don't think so.
I don't know what they thought. I care less. None of them are living now. Riney is gone too.